lessons suck sometimes, y'all. I learned one that I think that most people on a boat learn at some point, which is salt water is really hard on electronics, and it's always just in the air all around you on a boat. And I think it's particularly hard on computers because they suck air through them with fans. A long way of saying my computer died. And so it's part of why it's taken me so long to edit and get videos out to y'all. But new device has arrived. I've learned a new editing software, so I can now edit on a iPad, which the first time I've ever owned an Apple device. The other cool part that happened, and what you're about to see, is I took stock of all of my camera gear inventory, and I found an SD card that I thought I had lost. So this video that you're about to see is actually filmed in March of 2022, so just like 8-ish months ago. And yeah, it was the last big storm of last winter, and kind of what happened during that. So I hope you enjoy, and going forward, starting in the next postings, we'll have more current videos again. Okay, I was really going to try and get the boat cleaned up before I film this a little bit, but it didn't really happen. Because you can probably tell how dark it is already that it's getting dark out. But tomorrow is going to be kind of tomorrow's not going to be so bad, but Monday, today's Saturday, Monday is going to be the last like big storm of the year, hopefully. I mean, of the season, hopefully. Who knows, we could get more. But tomorrow is going to be a really big storm. Tomorrow we'll get the front, and then in the evening the eye should pass over us, and then on Monday the trailing edge, which is the bigger edge, should plow right into us. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm out on Anchor for it. I thought I'd just show you my little setup for it real quick. Okay, so the primary anchor is set up kind of as normal. It comes back to 2 snubbers. As I've been living on Anchor permanently this winter, I just went ahead and added these pieces of pipe just to make sure that I didn't have issues with chafe long term, and they've been working great. And then this is an old retired climbing rope that I use as the snubber down on the chain. But then for big blows, I get my spare anchor all set up so that if anything happens, and that can even just be wanting to be a little bit more stable, it works really well for me to run this out at a 30-degree angle to my primary anchor and drop that. So I have 120 feet of line and 35 feet of chain, and this old Danforth came with the boat, but it's really heavy for how big it is, and I found that it works great because it's really dense, and that was the problem with a lot of Danforths, is they just weren't very dense. So yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of that one, and that'll be the plan. There's not much upwind of me. You can see the marina lights over there, and there is one sailboat. Also, I hear whales. I can't see them, but I'll crank that audio and see if you can also hear the whales. You can just hear them breathing. But there's not much upwind of me other than that marina and a sailboat that I caretake that's been here for a long time, and another one that just showed up but is a light boat with tons of scope out. So it's the calm before the storm here tonight, and I'm going to rest up as much as I can before it hits. One of the other things I did to limit my exposure, just kind of having to go outside and whatnot, was I got all my wood split that I should need for the whole weekend. And yeah, I just can't say enough good things about this new wood stove. It's so nice and warm. That's it. We're all just enjoying the calm before the storm tonight. Wind is definitely picking up this morning, but this is not bad at all so far. One of the things I'm learning right now is I think that my rig has been over-tensioned the entire time I've owned the boat. I finally got my hands on one of the rigging tuning gauges, which is arguably something I should have done a long time ago, and backed off all of my rigging pretty significantly last week. And the mast doesn't cavitate the way it used to and shake the whole boat. This is exactly the kind of conditions that it would have done that in. But yeah, I mean, so far, I'll show you around, but this is nothing. But the big day is going to be tomorrow. It's 2:37 a.m. I figured I would chat about this right after it happened, though as you might be able to tell, I'm pretty tired, so we'll see if any of this is usable in the morning. It's pretty stormy out. It's blowing 25, gusting into the 40s. It's actually calmed down a bit right now and is absolutely bucketing rain. So what just happened? I just got back, and you'll see there's a kitten. That's it. But also all of my foul weather gear is out. And that's because I just returned to the boat after being out in this. Everyone has been at this anchorage pretty much the whole winter, except for this one little sailboat that actually drug anchor in the last storm and ended up somehow there was a marina downwind of it. The wind was coming out of the north. There was a marina downwind of it, and it ended up in the only empty slip on the outside of the marina. And oh, here comes a cat. Come here, honey. And just like washed right into that slip. And yeah, people from the marina went out and tied it up, and it was all good. Well, this time, and so then they went back out and they dropped. I didn't see them do it, but apparently they dropped like an old like rock anchor. Like when you think of like the anchor with the two hooks and the crossbar, it's a rock anchor. And apparently that's what they dropped. And this isn't rocks. This is like clay and sand. So they were holding pretty fine. And then I woke up and one of my buddy's boats is anchored over next to me. And his boat was lit up like a Christmas tree. I thought it was a fishing boat. When I first looked out the window, I was like, oh, wow, is Simon making friends with fishermen in the middle of the night? Like, I thought maybe, like, I don't know what was going through my head. It was 2 in the morning, and I have only slept 2 hours tonight, and that was many hours ago. It was actually 12:30 in the morning. It took an hour and a half to get this all done. So I looked out and I could see Simon running around his boat. I mean, I figured out pretty quickly it wasn't a fishing boat. I figured out that that sailboat was on top of him. And so I threw on all my foul weather gear just over my pajamas, which are also now drying. And ran over, well, zipped over in my dinghy, and you know, of course, the plan was just to get the boat off, and so you know, y'all know what my dinghy looks like. It's a good inflatable dinghy. It hey, you, stop it. It's very stable, especially in bad weather, and he has a aluminum skiff, which, you know, they have a tendency to flip, and if you take on water, you can capsize, and so it's not the right dinghy for this kind of weather, and I have a bigger engine, so I went over, and we were looking at it, and his chain was actually, like, under their rudder, so we kind of needed this, like, perfect lull and this, like, really strong wind to get it out. And he was just like, oh man, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, that boat's really heavy, the wind is too strong, I can't push it off my boat. And I was like, no, like, we need mechanical force. We need a spare anchor, and we'll just run that forward and off at an angle and winch down on that and be able to, you know, it's a sailboat, it has winches. So he got me a spare anchor, and I ran up to the bow and got that threaded through, and he immediately hopped on their boat and went back and ran it back to a winch, and as soon as I got it chucked overboard, he started winching on it, and it just hit that perfect moment. There was no winch handle, so he just started pulling on it, and I ran back to my boat to grab a winch handle, and then went back over, and it was already free, but it was uncomfortably close, so we got him off that boat and back to his boat. I think he just needed to, like, breathe for a second, and we got that boat at least off of his boat, and then it was still really close, and the wind is going to change angle, and it was going to blow the boat right back onto his, so we took another anchor and just kind of leapfrogged the boat over, and it's in shallow water, but it's floating, and it's a real soft bottom. It'll be fine even if it touches a little bit. Took about an hour and a half, but all's good. His boat's fine. The other boat is just a little day cruiser. It'll be fine. Yeah. It's the story of what happened tonight at middle of the night. It's 2. I guess you had to begin. Yeah, it's 2:45 a.m. But said we need to film an outro, and I need to get up in order to film an outro. Okay, fine. He has convinced me to just stay here. Thanks so much for watching this week's video. Like I said, next posting we'll be back to more normal. If you haven't seen my last episode where I announced that I will be circumnavigating the globe starting at the time of filming, 9 months from yesterday, is my last commitment, and then I'll be saying out pretty immediately there afterwards. If you didn't see that video and see that announcement, there's a link down in the description, and please check it out. Lots of exciting things coming, obviously, with these announcements that I am going to be circumnavigating the globe. There's a lot of information on my website, also linked down below. It's whoismichaelabauer.com. And the best way to get involved is head over to Patreon. There's a lot of stuff over there that's available for my patrons. I've been keeping that a lot more up to date. Yeah, come join the family, and you can get these early and ad-free, and it's a great way. It's the best way to support this project. Let's make history together, y'all. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.